From the art of the deal to keeping it real. Live from the Simply Vegas studios, it's The Power Move with John Gafford.
Back again for another exciting episode of The Power Move. Indeed, with us today in the studio, I am your host, John Gafford. As always, to my left, Colt, silverware fetcher Amidan.
I appreciate you bringing it.
Yeah, well, your wife sent you to she sent me to fetch silverware today, so that's what you call the silverware fetcher.
I'll take it.
And we'll go with that. And as always, with us in the studio, the counselor, Chris Connell. How are you, sir?
Living the dream.
And guest sitting in with us today, man, power mega agent, an all-around good dude and personal bro, Eric Gorton. What's up, Gorton? How are you?
Up, dude?
Thanks for sitting in with us today, buddy.
Always
I appreciate
a pleasure.
that. Always a pleasure. So today on the Power Move, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, you know, because I just think people get a lot of bad advice. I think they get so much bad advice. And I saw, you know, call it a meme, call it a post, call it what you will. But it was kind of it said advice from an 80-year-old guy. And I read it and I thought it was pretty good and I thought we would share some of that. But, you know, so we're going to get into that in just a minute. We're going to talk about good advice you've gotten, bad advice you've gotten over the years. Like hang out with Colt, that's bad advice. We'll give Colt a segment when you talk about anything as bad advice. But no, but just things like that.
Great advice.
Things you can go with on that aspect. But let's talk about some current events because we got stuff going. First of all, is anyone not aware of the Ponzi scheme going on in Vegas right now?
You told me a little bit about it.
Yeah. So here's
Which one are we talking about?
Here's where we're at.
Is there one individual or?
Yeah, no.
You mean gambling?
No. So here's where we're at. I get a phone call last maybe Thursday or Friday, 7:30 in the morning, and it's from one of our escrow officers at Clear Title, and for all your title needs, Clear Title. so one of our escrow officers, and she says, "Hey, the FBI is like outside our doors." And I go, "What do you mean the FBI?" She goes,
Again?
Yeah, she goes, "The FBI's here." She goes, "There's like a tank thing, and there's like a bunch of dudes in FBI vests." I'm like, there's no reason they should be there, as I'm randomly scouring through my head every possible bad thing.
You're like, my VPN was supposed to protect me from this.
It was just everything I may have possibly done going forward. And I'm just scouring through this. And then I'm like, so she texts me back. She goes, "Okay, they're not here for us." I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, I went outside and I said to him, I go, hey, can I move my car?" And they go, "No, don't worry about it." And she's like, you know, "Should we be worried?" And the guy just looked at her and said, "Ma'am, we're the FBI. If you can see us, we're not here for you."
Yeah.
It's like we're a little sneakier than all this.
That's pretty slick.
Yeah, we're not going to have the rally meeting in front of the house we're about to raid. Anyway, so they all take off and they actually go up the hill into Ascaya, which is a very, very nice neighborhood at the top of the hill here in Henderson, Nevada. Now, oddly enough, the people that we carpool with, my wife shares drop-off pickup duty of children to school with, the house that was being raided was the next door neighbor. So she's calling and says what's going on. Now, terrible part of this, what was happening immediately was the first thing I hear about it is that there's a big wedding. Their daughter or son was getting married that weekend, and all of their extended family was at the house when the FBI hit it.
Wow.
So kapow, FBI comes looking in, bang, bang, bang. Turns out we're starting to put some stuff together. I hear it has something to do with buying out or advancing money on lawsuits that are pending, right? Big returns. And I start thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I've heard something about this before. So I was like, my attorney had mentioned this at one point. So I call one of my attorneys, and I say to him, "Hey, what's the name of that dude that was trying to get you to invest with money with him?" And he said the guy's name. Yeah. And it was him. And I said, "This is the guy. The FBI just kicked his door in." Right. And so from there was an article yesterday in the RJ about an attorney that was associated with this that pulled a gun on the FBI. If you didn't see that, marshals went to his house. He put a gun to his own
his office,
to his own head, and then pointed it at the cops. At which point they shot him, not fatally, but in the hospital. So now he's going for that. Wow. And so as this starts to unravel, I did a post yesterday on the gram where I just said, "Hey, look, be careful in what you're investing in." Right. Because we're always raising money for our real estate deals. And I said, look, if you can't touch it, walk it, feel it, be careful with what you hear. And if the returns are sound too good to be true, they probably are. That post alone, I probably got 30 messages last night from people saying, I have a friend that has $1 million with that guy. I have friends that have, a lot of the lacrosse parents lost money with that guy. It was like, this is going to wind up being $1 billion Ponzi scheme.
Dang.
$1 billion is going to evaporate because people got some bad advice. And here's how far reaching it is. So this morning I get a text message, right, with an image from the Nevada Secretary of State website showing an entity, and that entity has the main guy who got raided, his name.
You can say his name.
I don't know what it is, but below
Matt Beasley.
Okay, below it is the attorney who pulled a gun on the cops yesterday, right? Is the registered agent of said LLC. And the third person is a guy's name that I had not seen on this corporation, whatever it was Pest Control Company. I'm like, who was this? So my buddy goes, you might want to search your website for that guy's name. So I search his name. First thing that comes up, this cat, agent at Simply Vegas.
Really?
Yeah. Now, granted, I don't know this guy. I don't know who he is. He's only been here for like a hot second. He's done one real estate deal, and it was his own house up somewhere very quickly.
Wait a second. Pest control?
Yes.
That's the LLC it was under?
It was a pest control LLC. So, yeah. So, needless to say, as soon as I saw this, we sent his license back. I want to steer clear of it, which let that be a lesson to you.
Guy's name Paul?
I think it was. I don't know.
I turned him on to the company.
Oh, no.
He's my pest control guy.
Oh, is he? Oh, I don't know.
I turned him on to the company.
To this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was.
The views of Eric Gorton do not represent the views of Simply Vegas.
You got to talk right. No, but my thing was, but here's the point. The point of it is this: if you think in this country, whatever, there's due process and all of those things, maybe these guys may get their day in court. They may be able to figure out what it is. But as a business owner, I'm out. Like, you're even remotely tied to this, I'm gone. Sure. I'm gone.
I don't even want him doing my pest control.
No, but I don't think this guy. Now, granted, I don't think this guy. He's got bigger problems than having his real estate license that he did his only one deal, which was his own deal to our company. I think he's got bigger problems. But
do you know that guy's involved in it?
I don't care if he was,
because he's a manager. Well, because here's the thing. Like, obviously, you don't want the witches out, right? You don't want the pitchforks out. You don't want to imply that somebody could be involved in something if they weren't, right? So, even if at the end of the day, what happens is being associated by stuff is enough to not want people to represent or be associated with you, but being on an LLC doesn't necessarily imply that you had any part to do with this other thing.
100%. But if the only other two people listed on these LLC docs were people now implicated in this Ponzi scheme.
But was that company named?
No. What was the company on the LLC?
That lawyer was just an officer, or that lawyer was just...
The lawyer was a registered agent.
Yeah.
The main Ponzi scheme dude was a member, and this other guy was a member.
Okay. So, because here's the thing, right? There's other companies. Like, I'm a member of other LLCs for, Rock Pro.
Yeah.
I'm a member of Rock Pro. So, if my partner in Rock Pro was doing dirt, it wouldn't mean my legal business is doing anything weird.
Right. I understand that, but it would
public.
Yeah. But to the public, people would draw those.
Totally agree.
People would draw those. They would draw those lines.
Yep. Absolutely. But like I said, it's just one of those things where.
Yeah. I get it. But the point being is, and again, the guys, if you're in real estate, you work somewhere, you're an independent contractor.
That's right.
So your contract
Absolutely.
states I can term you for any reason I want, instantly can.
Yeah.
So this is not violating any employment rules or laws that I'm doing. But just keep in mind that sometimes guilt by association can be as bad as guilt itself.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So you've got to, have 360 vision. Understand who you're hanging around is you.
Absolutely.
You are that perception. Because there's been times in my life when I've been left holding the bag o' shite.
Absolutely.
And have had to, settle up 7 figures because other people were not honest. And,
Totally.
you pay the price and it is what it is. But
I just want to clarify that nobody's implying Paul was anyone named Paul.
No, nobody named Paul has done anything wrong.
Anything.
Can we just talk about
that's been terribly
how
clarified.
horrible would it be to be shot by the FBI because you're trying to do a suicide probably by a cop and
why
not
would you?
Why just kill yourself?
Why is suicide by cop supposed to just do it?
Awful.
I mean, I don't know why that's a preferred.
Get a cigar.
Jesus.
Get a cigar, shoot yourself in the head.
This is Mental Health Week.
no.
Don't shoot yourself. Don't shoot the police.
It's ridiculous how these guys are out
Suicide by
there
cop.
still doing Ponzi schemes. Like,
I know.
isn't it easy enough to do business?
This is
like that's a legit
really out there scamming people
that
like
is
this
a
stuff.
Probably hard
legit
work.
way to make money. If all these Ponzi schemes, you can make Ponzi scheme. No. Let me finish.
I'm out of here, guys. I'm out of here today.
All these Ponzi scheme people would be worth a lot of money if they did what they're saying they're doing legitly. Yeah. The problem is
there's no way to do what they say they're going to do legitly.
Absolutely. You could not tell me you could not go do this, what they were doing.
So I just want to point out, what I'm understanding is that this was tied into litigation funding.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's how that works, and here's why it's easier at first to pawn people, scam people.
But I'm telling you, you could do it legit and make some money.
Well,
I
J.J.
tell
Wentworth,
all my
Viaticals.
clients,
It's a
all my
valuable
clients not to use litigation funding. Okay, I don't use it as my law firm. I pay for all my litigation out of my own pocket. But sometimes litigation can be up in the $500,000, $1 million. Should you want your law firm tying up $1 million pursuing litigation? Now, I pay for my own, but I thankfully I've never had $1 million case in cost for litigation that I fronted. But there's companies out there that will loan you money if you have settlement money coming in. Mm-hmm. And I have in my retainer agreement, don't use them. I can't loan or advance you any money that's not related to case cost specifically. Yeah. And also don't use these companies that are out there because the VIG is insane. Like you're paying 50% of the money back. You're giving them on interest for periods of time, right?
Yeah,
there's people that are hard up and they have a rough go at life and they got rent. I'd rather you paid rent than got a sweeter pot.
Well, these guys were super slick in what they were doing and how, because literally one of my attorneys was like, look, when they sent me this opportunity, they sent me the case. Like it wasn't just like a pool I put money into. They sent me the specific cases. And he goes, I saw the case. He goes, I looked it up. I contacted the attorney. He said, yeah, this is how it's going. The problem was they would get a specific case and then sell it 50 times.
That's right.
100 times. So
and you can do that in the short term, right? You can get a lot of bites at an apple before someone realizes you're in the apple orchard.
Yeah.
Right? They always get caught. So if you want to take your upfront, if you want to steal money, you can steal money with fraud upfront. There's a lot of people that commit fraud and get away with it for a while, but it always comes out.
Well, let's ask this. So do you think, part of me instantly goes to this when I think about this, is do you think these guys are like, you know what, man, I've lived a good life. I'm in my 50s. I've done it. I'm going to go ahead and set my kids up forever. And they're on almost the Balzerian plan. Because my son who barely knows anything will become the greatest poker player in the world for 1 year and win $50 million, which nobody believes that really happened. But there you go. I mean, it's almost like that's the plan. I'm gonna take a pinch. I'll put this away, and this is how we're gonna get the money back out for the family the next generation.
Yeah, I mean, maybe with crypto, right? Because now you can launder money a lot easier.
Yeah. How much of that money's gone into crypto? Holy
How would you ever know?
How would you know?
No way to track it.
It turns out there are. If you watch line goes up, the problem with NFTs.
Yes.
But the FBI and all those things, it could be on some server in China through some NFT bounced around 12 times through different cryptos.
Well, I'll tell you that. Well, let's talk about this though. Let's talk about this because we had something else happen. It's like legal week here. So we had a situation where one of our agents here. I'll tell you a story. This is an interesting story. One of our agents here sold a house, had a client come in that was a crypto whale. That's how they present themselves. I'm a crypto whale. I don't know what's going to have a crypto. I don't really want anything in my name. Can you hook up with like a hard money lender? This hard money lender agreed to buy a house for this client and then carry the note for 7 months. Nothing illegal about that. Perfectly happens every day. Do like a bridge finance deal for them. So the hard money lender bought the house, and then this guy disappeared. And they're like, what's going on? He's supposed to be making option payments. He wired like $150,000 in option money for this property, and then he disappeared. Turns out, not a crypto whale. Turns out he's a dark web coke dealer and has been literally sending cocaine all over the planet through the mail for years. And so he lost the option, and now like his wife was trying to sue somebody in Vegas. What he does, the semantics of that don't matter. But the point of it is, I went through and I read the complaint, the U.S. government against this guy, because I was just kind of interested, right? Dude, they followed this cat for years. Sure. The DEA followed him for years. And every time they were moving crypto, they had it. So if you think your crypto is anonymous, guess what? If the U.S. government wants to see what you're doing, they're going to find it. Because they were documenting every single one of his untraceable accounts. They had them all. They had everything. And that dude's going for a very long time. So don't think that just because you're in some deregulated, it's going to go that way.
Bro, the United States government blew up the president of Panama on one of its planes and then basically was like, yeah, fuck you. Like, if you don't think the United States government's going to figure you out, you think you think by using Signal and Parler or whatever, you're getting away from the grid. Get some bad news.
They're going to figure it out. Well, let's get into advice. So first of all, I'll go through this, and I'll give you guys a chance to ponder. I'm dying to hear the worst advice Colt's ever gotten.
Worst advice? Just had it today. Eat a rice cake. How fucking horrible is that?
They're delicious.
Have you what?
Rice cakes?
Oh, that's what it was.
Was it
that I was eating, right?
it was not
Hold on,
styrofoam. It
wait.
was a rice cake.
No.
Plain, no. Flavored, yes.
What do you mean?
This one was
flavored? What do you
salted.
flavor it with?
No,
There's no
There's
flavor.
like white cheddar, and then there's there's ranch flavored rice cake.
But doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of eating the
eating
rice
no,
cake?
it's just a lightly flavored
Dust.
Okay, I had
a
one
dusting.
lightly salted and was lightly the greatest shit I've ever ate in my life. It was styrofoam.
No, it's delicious.
No,
Totally.
top 3 worst foods ever.
No,
Ever?
rice cakes are wonderful.
Is that
No.
you're going number one on that?
I'm not.
No, it's number 3.
I don't mind 'em.
Number 3 worst
snack.
No, get it out of here.
What are the worst 3 foods ever, Colt?
Number 3 now is
Rice cakes.
rice cakes.
Rice
I mean,
cakes?
horrible.
So
you know
what-
what else was horrible? Kicks. Remember Kicks? Tastes like Kicks too.
The cereal?
Yeah, it tastes like nothing.
Cottage cheese is awful.
Oh, I love cottage cheese with little pepper. Oh,
Of course
no.
you do.
Explains it.
Of course
Yeah,
you do.
the
Palates
number
are-
1 would be anything vegan. Oh, God.
Well, you're 100%
horrible.
wrong. Here's a shout out to the Modern Vegan on Paradise.
Oh,
in
no,
Las
no, no,
Vegas.
no, no, no.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. That Impossible Burger that they have now, I don't know what
It's
fucking-
impossibly good.
What wizardry they went into it.
It's impossibly
But I had a
good.
client that was a vegan and he wanted to go to a restaurant, so we went to this place. They said we have the vegan Big Mac, and I haven't gone to McDonald's. I don't eat fast food.
Yeah.
So he had the vegan Big Mac, and I ate it. I was immediately transported back to 1987. First time I ever remember having a Big Mac.
Remember
and it
the
was
cool-
wonderful.
Was that good?
No,
Really?
no.
Wonderful, and it was $30.
I'm Colt.
Worst.
Yeah,
No,
see, yeah.
that's a problem.
Colt, I'm with you. Something must die for every meal that I
Yes,
have.
I agree.
If something doesn't die, it's not a meal.
And
to
was
me.
87's McDonald's the greatest restaurant ever? With the playpen outside.
Oh, and a toy.
Yeah.
100%.
That's great. Sorry,
I
but
just want you to
rice
know, though,
cakes.
that
Me and you
vegans-
are going to fight.
McDonald's
Vegans.
has a rice cake now.
McDonald's has the,
Really?
It's on their
the
$2
McFoam.
menu.
It's called the
Secret sauce.
McFoam.
The McStyro.
Horrible.
They just take the packing,
God.
the packing material that the cones come in, and
Packing
that's what they go with it.
I'm shocked, Chris. You
No,
disagree with
I
me.
don't. For something like sometimes really things that are really bland and crunchy, if it's just a little bit of flavor on them, I'm telling you, it's not as bad. Let me get you a flavored one. You'll change it.
No, we'll do that next spring one next
I don't
Tuesday.
think we're
We'll
gonna have
eat it on
a
there.
rice
Yeah,
cake.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
When we want to lose the last of our listeners, we'll do a rice cake
Okay.
taste test live on the Power Move.
Bring it.
For the 3
We'll
of
do
you
it.
still listening, this is going to do it. You're going to be gone after this.
That's all right.
I like
Bring
the
one next
barbecue
Tuesday.
one the best. It's delicious.
Hate barbecue. Barbecue's the Tom Hanks of food.
Oh, God. All right, so let's get into some advice here because shockingly, we talked about nonsense for a solid 15 minutes. But this was this little thing. I'm going to combine some of these because they go together. But like the first one says, have a firm handshake, and number 2 is look people in the eye.
Sure.
And I think that is, if you're going to teach your kids anything, teach them this. And I'll say this because, I had a couple different people come up to me at the party we had at my house a couple weeks ago. And they said to me, man, your son is just like a little guy, a little man now. And I'm like, really? I'm like, that's like, there's no better compliment you can hear as a father than your son's like a little man. And I went up and I said, man, somebody just said this about Hayden. And my wife was like, oh, I told him to make sure he looked everybody in the eye, stood up straight and shook their hand. And like shook for a firm handshake. And I'm like, there you go. I'm like, that's great advice. There's nothing worse than meeting somebody and getting a wet noodle.
Well, can we though?
Especially from a kid.
Can we normalize the fist bump already?
Is it fist bump all right,
Oh,
though?
I love that.
Can we just normalize the
Yeah.
fist bump? I'm sorry, I appreciate a good firm handshake. I get it.
You know what?
But fuck that,
fist
bro.
bump.
Just fist bump.
I'll
Like,
con-
I don't
hang
need your
on.
dirty ass
Yeah.
Hang on a
hands.
second. All right, well, hang on a second. I will concede the fist bump for one thing.
Yeah.
If you stand when people enter the room.
Great.
If you're sitting and somebody comes in, you should fucking stand up.
That's
if you don't know.
All right.
I think there's a time and a place for a fist bump.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think it's always, right? Like if you're meeting a girl's father for the first time.
Okay, fair.
There's no fist bump.
Yeah, there's no fist.
If you're,
What's up,
you know,
bro?
No.
If you're saying
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
sorry
yeah.
at a funeral, there's no fist bump.
Okay. Okay. Hey.
Yeah, most inappropriate
there's
places
caveats.
for a fist bump. I like this.
Can
This
we
is
do
great. This is
caveats?
better.
Top 3
Eric's right.
Gorton's worst places for a fist bump?
Yeah,
Let's get it. There's
It's just
2. What's
the
number
funeral,
1?
The meeting
Funeral?
the girl's parents. That's 2.
What would be the number 1 worst place
I
of
haven't thought about
fist
it all
bump?
that often.
I don't know, but yeah, funeral's a bad spot for a
Funeral's
fist
like
bump.
Maybe meeting
Sorry
a
about your
president or
loss.
foreign dignitary.
The Queen.
Sorry about your loss, and the hand goes out for the fist bump.
Maybe a foreign dignitary.
Terrible.
Yeah,
there's-
the Queen.
It's almost
Can't
like
fist
the
bump
whoop,
the Queen.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when he's asking for the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst place
I
for the fist
like
bump.
fist. I'd rather a hug than a
I'd rather
handshake.
hug than shake a hand.
Yeah.
I'd rather now in
And
the
I'm-
time and age of COVID.
Eric's got to be with us because Eric's just like me. He's kind of germaphobe like I am.
So yeah,
I appreciate a good fist pump.
Touching
when
on
it's
a man's
warranted,
hand.
especially people I don't know. Like, you know, if a landscaper comes up, you want to say hello more than just right? Give him a fist pump.
You got to give me a little
But,
something.
You know, I mean,
hug.
someone that you know really well, or if you haven't seen him in a while, or you're showing a sign of respect, there's no fist pump.
When he comes out of the bathroom, his hands are still wet a little bit. Then I'll shake his hand.
I
Yeah,
won't
it's
even go
proper.
for a fist pump.
I know it was recently washed. Well, hopefully that means it was washed.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't know that.
I think it's so funny. I'm scouring my brain right now for any place worse for a fist bump than a funeral. I just can't come.
I think he nailed it.
He did
Yeah.
right out of the box.
Girl's dad.
Meeting the girl's
I don't know
dad.
if I'd have came up with that real quick.
I'm just saying, if the hammer came over and gave me a fist pump right out the gate, it's like,
Yeah, you'd be like, no, you're not. You're not doing it. Next one, or next two actually. It says sing in the shower and own a great stereo system.
Nah, overrated.
Overrated.
I have
Owning
AirPods.
a great stereo
bro. I
system.
get 8K surround system, infinitely better than any bullshit. I have kids. I start playing loud music. They start complaining. You know, they want to hear we don't care about Bruno. Or
But I
whatever
think
the fuck.
no. See, but here's
the Sonos
but here's the
inside
point.
and out, and it's awesome.
Yeah, here's the point. Here's the point, though. I think the point is you're hearing that is just go buy the giant boom system, which is what you're hearing. I'm hearing that is invest in quality to enjoy the finer things in life. That's what I'm hearing.
That's like a Henry Rollins.
That's what I'm hearing.
Henry Rollins has like 60,000 records or some shit, and like the toppest end of all stereo equipment possible in his house is fitted out.
Straight hi-fi,
Straight hi-fi.
right from Buck's Super Hi-Fi World. What was it? Boogie Nights.
On the I-95. Call Bucks.
With every turntable, you get a free bowl.
That's it.
Yeah.
We just not going to talk about singing in the shower?
No, sing in the shower. Go ahead, Colt.
Don't do it.
No,
I can't sing. I'm
I
the
do.
worst singer.
You know what I like to do in the shower?
I'm the
Yeah,
worst
I got an
singer.
Alexa.
You got in there?
So I'll go with a playlist, and then
Yeah.
I'll roll out.
Dude, I'll tell you
I'm
this.
a bad singer.
When I whistle in the shower, my shower sounds like the damn Sistine Chapel.
Oh, wow.
It is magical.
Like Hunger
Next-
Games in there?
Next time you come over, you're gonna be like, I got to hear the whistle in the shower.
Yeah,
We're not gonna
let's
get in there
all
and
get in
soap
the
each other out.
shower.
But you
Let's
can
get
walk
in
in
the
there.
Soap up, Gafford.
Do you guys honestly not use the shower as a moment to make up arguments with nobody that's around and like win them or lose them?
Oh, yeah. All the time in my head.
I'm sorry. Wait, what?
I'm
I
with
get-
Chris
you have
on this.
fake
I'm with
arguments
this.
arguments in the shower by myself, John.
And get all pumped like
I've
fuck
gotten
yeah.
worked up, or I've fucking dunked on people that don't exist.
I could see him in the shower like Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day
No,
Off.
I-
They'll
Yeah.
keep calling. They'll keep calling.
That's it,
They'll never
man.
stop.
No, I spend my shower time doing one of a couple things. Either just thinking about nothing, like a wah, like the straight wah wah wah, thinking about my day and pumping myself up for my day, or talking myself out of the ridiculous reason I'm mad at my wife for the dream that I just had where we got in an argument.
Oh, you're one of those, huh?
Yeah, dude. You know what she did to me last night? in my dream? You want to know what she did last night?
shameful.
This is what she did in my dream last night. Because of course we didn't go to Mardi Gras, so she was concerned about it. So we ended up going anyway, right? We went last minute, but we've already given our rides away. So I didn't ride in my parade. I stayed home, and then she went up. You know what she did?
Got on her.
She rode in her parade. And then she was like, well, there's an extra spot, so I just did it. Oh, I woke up, I was ready to murder.
Yes.
Woke up, looked at her, I'm like, you're just...
Did she apologize to you
Keep sleeping.
in real life?
No, she didn't apologize to me in real life. She never does.
man.
She never does.
Shameful.
Never. Terrible. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Keep secrets, it says you should do. Be good at keeping secrets.
Very much so.
Oh, yes.
Very important.
That's top.
And
three
when
right
you
there.
don't keep a secret, what you're doing is you're making you responsible for my secrets now. Like let's say somebody has some juice or some dirt, and I go, okay, you can't tell anyone this. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Now I've gotten it off my chest, and you're fucked because
Yeah.
you're the one
You
that
gotta
has
hold it.
to hold it now, or your character's at risk. And then you go tell someone that gets back that nobody keeps secrets.
Yeah.
in.
It
Secrets
never
is-
goes well.
This is why
Secrets is
9/11
huge.
wasn't an inside job.
Now, see, this one I'm going to disagree with. It says, never give up on anybody. Miracles happen every day.
Yeah, give up on people, guys. They'll drain you.
Yeah.
They'll
I think-
drain your
I'm
ass.
going to disagree with that one.
Yeah.
One bit of bad advice I heard.
Yeah, that's a bad piece because here's the deal. Fool me once, you've heard the old thing, whatever.
Say when life gives you lemonade, say
dead.
fuck the lemons and bail.
That's it. No, dude, you get one.
You get two chances, right?
Well,
like
yeah,
you
two
might
chances.
have a
I've
I've
bad,
given people
bad
chances,
thing.
but
Yeah.
people have certainly died.
Yeah.
Two chances. But I would say, like I always tell people, when people show you who they really are, believe them.
Believe it.
Believe them. They're not lying to you when they show you who they
That's
are.
really bad advice.
Yep. Always accept an outstretched hand.
No.
No, you don't think so?
It'll pull you back sometimes.
Like,
I'm with you.
is that like if somebody says, is that like a handshake? Always shake their hand, or
No,
'Cause
it means
I know
that
you ain't doing
You
that.
need a help.
You need a helping hand.
Always
take it?
accept help because a lot of people have a hard time sometimes accepting help, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
But not all help is help you want.
No.
Well, there's some truth to that. I mean, you got to make sure there's no ulterior motives and everything. But I think a lot of people would be a lot further in where they are if they would have the ability to even ask for help for people. People's ego gets in the way.
You got to ask for help, but not always. You don't always take it. And just like you said, look, our room right here, if I asked Eric for help, Chris, you for help, you guys would truly mean that help.
Yeah, I'd help you.
If I went out to 50 people out there, 30 of them are going to be like, what's in it for me, and kind of screw you. So,
or if 50 people came up to you offering to help, you want to pick and choose.
That's an intervention.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 people show up. That's an intervention. That's a whole other problem.
That intervention.
Oh, my God.
That was hilarious. The SNL, did you guys see that?
See the SNL monologue from last weekend? What's his name? John Maloney? John Mulaney. Yeah, he says, I walked into a room and, there's a bunch of my friends there. And he goes, you're on a bunch of drugs when you open it. When the first thing you think when you see a bunch of friends in a room is, man, this is an intervention for me. First thing you see. Right. And he goes, I got to the point of the steps when you have to break up with your drug dealer, right? So he goes, my main drug dealer, I text him and he's like, hey, I'm sober now. I'm not going to be doing any more drugs, so I'm going to delete your number. And he's like, but I'm a nice guy. So I'm like, but I appreciate all of your quick and prompt service over the years. Everything else. And he goes, before I could even block the guy, he sends me back, I'm so proud of you. And it was like, I thought that was really weird for a drug dealer to send me, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, he's like, yeah, that means, and then he texted me immediately after, he's like, that means that I don't have to go buy drugs anymore. He's like, what? He goes, yeah, the only reason I was buying drugs is because I was scared you were going to find them, so you were going to get a bad batch or something off the street. And he's like, wait a second, are you a drug dealer? And he's like, no, I'm a painter. He's like, do you sell drugs to anybody else but me? And he said, no. He's like, how did this come to be? And he's like, well, you just kept asking.
That was great. That was one of the best.
Like,
always accept help.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. Oh my God. So great.
You got to watch it. It's hilarious.
So great. Next one, be brave. Even if you're not, pretend to be. No one can tell the difference.
I like it.
I like that too. I think there's a big difference between having courage and being brave.
Yeah.
Having courage is being scared and doing it anyway. I think being brave is just being too dumb to understand the danger inherently. It's
kind of like one of the power ones.
Yeah, it is.
The power one. That list was awesome. We should still go through the power one.
Colt just wants an end.
Doesn't want to show.
That was
show
evil.
Weakness.
Yeah, the 48 Laws of Power, where Colt only found the evil in that show. If you want to go back
Did you realize he's probably got a short list of countries that he's planning on taking over one day?
He definitely is. He definitely is.
I don't mean democratically.
I think personally you can show some weakness, but in life and business you can't show weakness.
No, I think vulnerability is one thing. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to show weakness and vulnerability are separate things. They are. Number 10, whistle
in the shower.
Yeah, in the shower would be good. I think that just means that
does it really say whistle?
It says whistle right there. But again, I'm trying to project meaning into these one word.
Right.
This is hold on. Carry a pocket of Werther's originals too. I mean, how old is?
Oh, those are amazing.
No.
Those are great. All right, we're going around the room. I want to see who can whistle.
Play the Yin Yang Twins whistle.
Let's hear your whistle.
No, I can whistle, but I need my shower to get the full effect. But the point of it is this: I think, what do you gain when you whistle? What do you get?
Happiness.
You are moderating your own mood. I think it's hard to be in a pissed off mood and walk around whistling, right?
Yeah,
so I think it's one of those actions you can. I think it's one of those you can take an action that then puts you in a state. It's monitoring your own state by taking action.
Is there an asterisk there that says by yourself?
No,
people are walking around the mall. There's nothing. There's no quick way to annoy other people.
You should be able to punch somebody in the throat for that one.
Yeah, good one.
Just saying.
Yeah, and then this is just not going to go along at all with this. It says avoid sarcastic remarks.
Oh boy.
Well, hold on. I actually think there's a lot of value in that because
the sarcastic remarks.
Well, here's the thing, like with your friends and stuff like that, but it's easy to fall into a trap of negative becoming normalized. I really believe that, right? You'll have friendships or whatever where, guys just break each other's balls, but it's like at some point it becomes insidious. Where
I agree.
If the reaction is always sarcastically, at some point you're like, do you even like me? Like, are we? Because you don't. Because it's got to be sprinkled in when it's funny and appropriate.
Bro, I had a conversation yesterday. I went to lunch with one of my partners, Gavin, who owns Simply Vegas and Gavin is a phenomenal partner. He's a great partner to me, but I always crack to everybody. I would, and it was just really just a joke saying that Gavin doesn't do anything. His job here is just kind of be pretty and sell expensive houses. That's his job. Like I do everything else. And I've been saying that shit for years, right? Just as a joke, not thinking anything of it, sarcastic remark. And yesterday at lunch, he said, "Can you please stop saying that? It really bothers me."
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I was like, wow. I mean, I never would think in the world that would bother. Shit. And I felt terrible. And I was like, bro, dude, we run this company equally and do everything together. And I felt terrible that just something stupid like that. But it's true, man. You just, something that you think is so benign and so stupid, you really can, you can hurt somebody else that you love and does good things for you. So yeah. So,
and it's not only friends, business partners, but family. You can do
anybody.
That too.
Yeah, anybody.
Like kids eat that shit up and like now all of a sudden it plays with them.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
so positivity is essential.
It is essential. And I tell you what's really gotten bad. What's bad in my house is now they have this. So the 90-day fiance thing, if you haven't watched this disaster on A&E, you probably don't. My wife loves this stuff where you have guys go across seas and then try to marry these women, whatever.
That guy
that made my gun.
He's the freaking reason that I can't say, hey, just Google Colt from Las Vegas.
Right.
God, what?
So it's one of those things. So it's one of those things where, but now they do something called Pillow Talk, where they've got the show going and they cut in people that used to be on the show now talking about the show. So the whole thing is just talking shit about other people as you're watching it, and you get sucked into it. So now me and my wife are like, you just start harping in, and you're like, bro, this is not like we're sitting here making fun of people we don't know, and this is not healthy at all. There's nothing productive about that whatsoever.
No, I've been really being mindful of cutting people out when it's appropriate. Not becoming just constantly sarcastic, trying to consider, how other people take things or whatever. And it's,
I think it's big to do that.
We had this conversation last week. You were sitting at my desk.
Yeah.
What did you give up for Lent?
Yeah. I gave up negative thinking.
That's what I told him. That's what I gave up for Lent.
Negative thinking. Well, we're going to come back in a minute. We're going to take it.
It's going well.
It's going well. We're going to take a quick break. And I promise
my
you,
wife applauds me too because she, it's easy in this business, especially this business, to get caught up in the negativity.
Shit on everything.
A series of things where it's 10 bad things to one good thing. And luckily, the weights and balances shifts all the time, so it's not always like that. But it's easy to get caught up in negativity.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we are going to come back, and what I'm going to read, I guarantee you, all of you will agree with it wholeheartedly. We'll be back in just a minute.
Flavored ice cubes.
I had it was salt.
It's John Gafford. If you want to catch up more and see what we're doing, you can always go to thejohngafford.com, where we'll share any links things we talked about on the show, as well as links to the YouTube where you can watch us live. And if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, you can always follow me at thejohngafford. I'm here. Give me a shout. Back again from the break. We're talking today about advice. If you're watching us on YouTube or wherever you watch us, make sure you give us a like and subscribe. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, wherever you are, make sure you give us a quick review. Every little bit does count, and we do appreciate it. Thanks so much. So when we left, we were just talking about great advice or bad advice as we read it from some stuff. And I love this one, number 12. It says, choose your life's mate carefully. From this one decision will come 90% of all of your happiness or your misery.
Walk-off home run.
Yeah, total home run. So you've been on both sides of that coin, counselor.
Sure have. So I assume everybody's dated.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to say. I think we all have. Maybe not Gorton.
No, dude. Gorton sent us a picture today, literally from 1988. For those of you, baby. 88. For those of you that were keeping it real in 88, where's it at? And it says, "This is what me and the bird looked like in 88." And it was
you guys together then?
Oh, dude, yes.
Dude.
That's
the year we met.
Yes, dude, look at that.
Look at that.
That is strong. I'm trying to get I can't really get a close up on it, but yeah, there's Eric right there, and it's looking like a child with Shelly.
Gorgeous wife. She looked like seriously, she looked like Cindy Crawford.
Yeah, she did.
Bro, MCA was still alive. The Beastie Boys were humming.
Dude, life was better.
What a day to be alive.
Life was better. What a time to be alive.
Like Chris said, I think we've all been on, maybe not Gorton, but bad relationships, and that shit will drain you.
Tear you apart.
As you go through it, one of the things that I saw was, and this is an interesting thing, and I've thought a lot about this as I saw it, but it said, you got to make sure, and I think a lot of people make this mistake, you're marrying your wife's finances as well, or your husband's finances.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people, everybody says marry for love and for no reason. I think you got to have some common sense in that. And I think a lot of bad marriages come out of that situation where they don't understand that.
Well, so everybody that we talk about marriage, what are we doing with marriage? It's a religious tradition. It's a civil tradition. It's a financial tradition, right? Mm-hmm. It's a contract with the state that says I will do X and you will do Y, right? It comes with different benefits for that. If you just love the person and you don't want to commingle funds, just date them.
Date.
You don't need to get married just because you've been together a long time. And anybody that has that false understanding of why people get married, right, should maybe reevaluate what's going on. That's some advice.
Well, I think if you come from like Eric, a deeply religious Catholic background, I think that getting married is more than those things. I think it's a union you're looking to make under the eyes of God. Yes, no?
Yes, and it's taken on such a whole new meaning as I've gotten older. Because when I was young, I was bred to believe this is what needs to be done.
Step one, step two, step three.
Step one, step two, step three. You get married young, you have children young, and then you go through
buy a house 3 blocks away from the mom's house.
And at that point, seriously, when I started dating Michelle, I thought I'd be in New York forever. Right? So it's certainly evolved into something that we know. And bear in mind, we've been together. This June 18th, my wife and I will be together 30 years.
That's
together, 30
crazy.
Years. But there's been a series of peaks and low valleys.
Like you'll actually have like a 50th wedding anniversary at some point.
Wow.
That's crazy. I'll never get that.
Like we'll be married 27 years.
If I do, I won't know about it. I'll be wheeled out there. Yeah, exactly. I'm drooling on myself if I ever get to that point.
And I think a lot of people just marry to marry. Like,
marry to feel companionship.
Because they feel like they need to. And people have kids because they feel like they're obligated to have kids and they shouldn't, right?
It's a series of keeping up with the Joneses, too.
Yeah.
Like if you have 10 friends that have been married, you're the last person on the totem pole.
Dude,
I need to get married.
How often do you look at some people, and this is going to sound terrible, and I hate to be judgy, but sometimes you just meet some people and you take a look at them and you're like, bro, you guys should not have 4 kids.
Oh.
There's just nothing about
at least
this.
5 times a day.
We were talking about getting away from negative thinking.
Yeah. It's like, does the world really need 4 more of you?
Like Bill Burr says, he goes, you look at a wall of these family trees, and they had 4 kids, and they had 4 kids. He goes, I don't recognize a single one of you. Never did, and he did shit. Stop making that guy over and over.
We don't need that guy. The plant's closing down. We don't need 4 more guys.
In the middle of traffic, doesn't get in to let you pass on the yellow light or whatever. Like, we didn't need that guy.
And there's our blowing avoid sarcastic remarks just out the window. But we tried for a couple minutes. Make it a habit to do nice things for people who will never find out.
I think that's interesting.
I like that one.
Is that? I mean, how practical is that, though?
It's not practical at all, but you still feel good, right? Being charitable, like charity, that whole Jack London thing, right?
I do like doing. Here's the thing, though. I'd rather see. I want to see the joy that people experience when I do nice things for them. That's the payoff for me.
Here's something that's toxic in charity and philanthropy is that
the
people
cell phone.
No. People that go, hey, go do charity without telling them when you're doing charity, and I go every time I see someone doing charity, it makes me think, hey, maybe I should go do more.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
But isn't there a line though with the cell phone? And
I don't care why people do it.
Hey, we're gonna go out and give this guy $100.
Cool.
I hate that.
It's like at the end of the day, to me, the ends justify the means at all costs.
Yeah, I tell you what I do like. A bunch of my friends in Utah have been doing this lately, and I do love this. Started with $100. We'll get like 30 guys together, and they'll all go out to dinner, and they all tip $100. They all tip $100, and they just give it to the wait staff. And then now they've been doing $1,000 dinners. They go out. I mean, they gave a $30,000 tip the other night.
Wow,
that's life, dude. If somebody's waiting tables in Utah, that's life changing.
I mean,
at least you're changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your change. You could buy a house with it. All of a sudden, now you're in a real estate game.
Yeah, which I thought was
or at least upgrade a car.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Or get decent
Some of your kids' braces, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You'll put it on a hand of blackjack.
Yeah. Lend
Bit of rice cake.
Of course.
Turn that 30 into 60, baby.
That's it. No, do not do that. The thoughts and feelings of Colt Amidan do not reflect those of the Power Move. Do not go gamble away.
Yeah, don't do blackjack. Go put it on first 12 of roulette.
Stop.
60 to 180.
Stop.
Roulette, baby.
No, do not do that. That's terrible. Make a habit. No. Lend only those books you never care to see again. Do you give books to people?
I give books out, and I give out the books that I would be happy to buy again.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I give out books all the time because if it's a book I'm giving you, it means like I just bought 3 Sophie's Choices, and it's just like there's people I know that should read them.
Yeah,
it's like,
Sophie's Choice.
Yeah, absolutely. That book is.
Did it say to give away the ones
good.
you wanted?
No, give away the books you never expect to see again.
If you think you have a good vocabulary, go read Sophie's Choice and let me know if that wasn't just one of the most
challenging.
I could read it then.
No, but anyway.
I'd have to listen to it.
But anyway, there's all these books. Replay by Ken Grimwood I've probably bought 5 times.
Yeah.
I've sent it as a gift 10.
I bet Obstacle is the way I bought 25 copies of that book.
And it's a great book, and everybody should have it.
Everybody should have it.
You know, so
What's it called? Obstacle?
Obstacles Away.
The Obstacles Away by Ryan Holiday. I probably.
A couple of play
Can we do a little power move advice?
Yeah. What's the part? Go ahead.
As I say, C. What is it? C.
Yeah, the point is, look, this is just some old cranky man that somebody made a meme of. We can drop the goodness in.
Here's the
whenever you
best
want.
advice I was thinking about the other day. It is that si vis pacem parabellum. In order for peace, prepare for war.
Okay. Yeah.
In life, I'm constantly preparing for war that I'm never going to ever face.
Pray
or
for
see.
peace. Well, yeah.
In the shower, you will though.
Again.
Preparing for war.
Again. Case in point. Looking at a deal today in Utah, in St. George. We're going to build a bunch of houses up there. Right. Took down the lots today. Everything's moving forward. It's good. And as I'm sitting with my partners going through the plans, and we're looking at everything, the financing, looking at all the deal points on it. I said, where is it if the market turns on us? Because St. George is gonna stop. Like Vegas will be a slow turning market when the market turns here. It'll be like the Titanic. That's going to be like a car hitting a wall.
Yep.
In St. George, because there's no economy there. There's no reason for people to be there. People are buying houses there because the economy's good. That's it. And so I said, what happens when that happens? And one of my partners said, well, no, we just got to charge for it. We're doing this or not. I mean, we'll take our lumps when it happens. And I'm like, that's not a good enough answer. We've got to model out this disaster,
right?
Because that's how you stay calm in the eye of the storm. That's how you stay that. You don't want that to happen, but you've got to mentally prepare for the worst
for war.
Yeah, for the worst possible scenario.
You're
because
not
when it happens,
underwriting your deals that way. You are going to be.
Yeah.
I've been to bars before. I've been to bars before with the guys I do martial arts with, different gyms over years. And I remember one time we went to a bar after martial arts, and I was with some really, really tough guys. And a couple of the guys started trying to pick a fight with the table. I can't remember what it was for, but it was really innocuous. And I remember everybody at that table was perfectly calm. Wasn't any, pounding chest or puffery or whatever. And these guys were totally wrong. There's 2 of them. And they were probably drunk and just creating a scene. And everybody at that table that had just literally prepared for war was the most peaceful. Just, hey, you know what?
we're good.
Don't worry about it. No ego. No. And it's, you're like, kind of want him to get up and just murder these guys.
You're like, we are not going to beat these people up now? Why are we not going to beat them up? And by we, I mean me standing in the back going, yeah. That's going to be my contribution to the barroom brawl.
When people are prepared for war, they're a lot more open to peace.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. So model everything out. I think that's a great piece of advice. Great piece of advice. Loosen up, relax, except for rare life and death matters. Nothing is more important. Nothing is as important as it seems. This is a good piece of advice I give people all the time too, which we talk about, memento mori, which is my favorite little Stoic saying, which means death comes first. So it really translates to death is coming, whatever. We all die. Everybody dies.
Remember death.
Remember death. Everybody dies. And, like your son, Gorton Jr., right? Comes to me. It's like, man, I said, brother, you got too much anxiety about things. Yep. You stress out too much. And I said, here's a good exercise for people that have too much anxiety. I said, the next time something happens that just crushes your world in, or you feel is crushing your world in, take a second and just write it, like schedule 30 days from today. Go into your calendar and schedule an appointment for yourself and just write out the problem. And 30 days from today, when that pops up on your calendar, you're going to be like, oh, dude, I don't even remember that anymore. And I said, and once you start to see that enough of those, I don't remember that anymore, you're going to start to realize that when these things happen, that nothing is going to end the world for you. It's just not going to be. You take shit too seriously.
Yeah.
So I do love that piece of advice, which is good.
Yeah, there's not a problem I had 2 years ago that I still have today.
No.
Luckily.
No.
Well, I professionally manage people's problems, right?
Yeah.
So I do have things that, there's legitimate problems that get created. All of them have resolved themselves between all parties.
Yeah. I could never be an ER doctor because you are dealing with life and death.
You are. Yeah.
That would
I know.
eat me alive.
Well, is that
That
is that the reason you could ever be an ER doctor? I'm
pretty-
it's a personal choice? Is that what we're going with?
You know
Chose
what?
to not be an ER
Guess what? There is 4 people here, and 50% of them have college degrees.
That's a good point. That's a
saying.
good point. That's a good
Actually,
point.
I don't know if Eric does.
Has what?
College degree.
Do you?
I do not have a college.
There you go. You
so
guys
there you
talking
go.
shit. I'm a step closer to being an ER doctor than you are.
That is a good. You are one step closer than I am. To
I
being
was
an ER.
a emergency room EMT when I was 18. I did my practicum there.
I was an EMT though.
Oh, so there you go.
Did
There
get an
you go.
EMT license.
There you
I
go.
got my-
Can we all just
and
agree
So
that
I was an AEMT, able to advance narcotics into
Drugs,
people
yeah.
in the back of an
Narcan.
ambulance.
So at the end of the day, though, working in the ER is probably one of the most depressing things I've ever
Yeah.
done.
Oh, without a doubt.
Could
And
not.
you know what? People, thinking back when I was a kid, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a fireman. You see some turmoil being a fireman and a cop, man. Those are not easy careers. And these guys are so underpaid and so underappreciated that the world should be ashamed of themselves the way most of these guys get treated.
Yeah.
Firefighters?
Firefighters.
Yeah.
You
Pull up.
Oh, yeah,
Heroes, bro. You can
People love firefighters, but some people hate firefighters.
Yeah.
firefighter. I've never heard.
Who hates a firefighter?
Who hates a firefighter?
Dude,
Yeah.
in New York, right, at some points they used to go after firemen and basically sabotage their gear, their trucks and stuff.
Those were
because-
cops.
Why?
No, a lot of these firemen because they were condemning these vacant
Yeah.
apartment buildings, closing down the crack dens
Firefighters
and the
get
drug houses
shot all
and
the
stuff
time.
like that.
They get
Yeah,
shot
they,
at all the
they're
time.
they're first responders, so they're in a dangerous position for sure. But you
I
know,
could not pull up to a car wreck.
it's
I don't
gross.
like. Yeah, I couldn't.
And plus, when you're you're dealing with family on scene, and you can't,
that's hard.
you're not giving any information, or you're treating somebody they can't get close to them. That's, believe me. Firemen here-
but firemen are widely recognized in society as people that are very
helpful.
helpful.
Yeah.
The kitten in the tree.
It's kid in the tree.
That's the
but
visual.
That's the visual you want.
you ever
Always
check out a
that
fire?
visual.
You ever check out a firefighter's pay in Clark County?
They make good money.
They make good money,
real
yeah.
good money.
They're making.
They make good money. Well, it's hard to get on.
Bank.
It's hard to get on Clark County.
Is there
Hard
a
to get on
better profession that has like a better
Like
hero?
lifestyle.
No, just like
Oh,
hero
yeah.
look at them.
I'd like to think that cops and real estate or lawyers and real estate agents are thought of in a similar way
That's why I
in
came to
society.
Data Style. I was going to become a fireman. I took the test, and by that time, when I got called, I was already in the casinos.
You're already there.
I didn't go.
Already doing that. Next one on here says, "Be a good winner, be a good loser."
Totally.
I think
Agreed.
nothing. What's worse, a bad winner or a bad loser? What's worse?
Ask Brittany Mahomes. Ask Pat Mahomes' wife and brother.
Did you see that video of him just over it at a game
Oh,
where they're
yeah.
sitting next to him, where he was
Yeah.
just like, and she looks to the side, she's like, like that.
Do you know what she said? Do you know what he said to her and what she said to
No, but I'm dying to know. What
Oh,
was
it's
it?
great.
Patrick Mahomes looks at his wife and goes, "Would you knock off the resting bitch face?" And she goes,
And that's what she
looks over
turns
and she goes,
and goes. He
"Patrick
told
just
me.
told me not to drop my resting bitch face." She's like, does that face. I'm like, God, he's got to know better.
How long before? Okay, say how long is this gonna last? Patrick Mahomes,
He's-
his wife.
I think he's over it.
I think he's
So
over
I think
it.
he had a kid with her.
Do you think he's probably already talked to the attorney? Like, okay, what's this gonna look
They're not
like?
married.
Oh my! What are you doing?
They're not married.
What are you doing?
They just had a kid together.
Oh,
and he must
boy.
be true love.
Oh boy, yeah, true. Must be true love because the entire world hates this chick. It's terrible. Oh man, when someone hugs you, let them be the first to let go.
No, because
No?
you might have
This is
somebody
old
else.
man. This is Werther's
Old man?
original in the pocket.
Yeah, no, because
Creepy old man hugging you.
Because what happens
Sniffing you at the
no,
same
'cause the
time.
question is, what happens if two people read this and then now you're hugging forever? How's that work?
You
Yeah,
quit
no,
with
and that's not something I ever thought about, but
Yeah.
nah, I don't agree with that.
you quit when the erection hits the inside of your leg.
Okay, male hug. You got to do the hips out. You got to. There's a lean in. There's a lean in, hip out.
Hit hips first. That's how me and Chris go in.
Cole, you do not lead with the hips on a man hug.
Oh,
That's
me
terrible.
and Chris are going hips first, man. I don't even know.
Sword fight.
I don't even know if our tops touch, do they, Chris?
In a good sword fight,
Touch it.
Colt, there's no reason to.
Don't let go, Chris. It feels so
You
good.
guys just hold each other's hands and kind of
Yeah.
twirl in a circle. That's how it goes.
Slow motion. The fan
my
comes out.
God. And we're getting canceled for that one, of course. Yep, that's it. Beware the person who has nothing to lose. I agree with that.
Totally agree with that.
Putin.
I say this all the time, John, as an attorney, Eric, don't do business with losers.
No, I agree. It's like getting in a fight with a gang member. They have nothing to lose. They'll kill you.
Our whole justice system is predicated on the principle that at the end of the day, somebody has something to lose, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I'm doing business with you and you have nothing to lose, I can't sue you for nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can get done with somebody that has nothing to lose, right?
Yeah.
So don't pick fights with people who are losers and have been to jail and don't mind it.
This is something I feel like I have to explain this to one of our people once a week when a lawsuit or something comes up, or we get threatened a lawsuit. Well, we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. While I completely agree with you, that is not what we're talking about right now.
Talking about what do we have to lose?
Yeah, because the point is, it doesn't matter if we did something wrong. We're still going to have to pay to defend this thing.
Yep.
There's still a deductible on our E&O insurance. There's still a lot. I mean, this could still cost us a truckload of money, even though we did nothing wrong.
It's because you have something to lose.
Even if we win, we're still going to have to pay for all of this.
Because they can't pay because they're losers.
Because they can't pay because they're losers. So yeah, why do attorneys do that? Why do attorneys take case with people that they know can't pay them?
Well, because here's the thing. And if you want a bit of a, I'm not trying to show the magicians never show the cards, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you look at something, you go, hey, it doesn't cost me a lot in terms of my time.
Just to send the demands.
To roll the dice. If you come back at it and say, go fuck yourself, and I say, well, now you have to pay me to go forward.
Yeah.
If they don't and can't, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
If they can, now you got to figure out, okay, like, what does that look like?
How are we going to do this?
So that's the whole issue with contingency versus, hourly. Because if I'm incentivized hourly to pursue, all that stuff, if you have someone that can pay.
Yeah.
If not, there's no, incentive to go to war for people that can't pay you.
Yeah. No, there's not. I love this next one. It says, be bold and courageous. When you look back on life, you'll regret the things you didn't do more than the things that you did. And I know, counselor, this is 100% your ethos on the planet.
Every day of my life.
Every single day. Wait, so let's go around. Colt, what something that you wish you'd done, haven't done, whatever. Because I'm going to give you a good point for this. Go ahead.
I think that what I will hopefully do is, but I'm mad I haven't yet, is a fund for real estate stuff. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's the number one.
Professionally.
Probably the only
professionally.
one.
That's professionally. Everything else you're good with.
Yeah.
You're good across
life's
the board.
Great, man.
Yeah.
I've been very happy.
Good.
Blessed.
Gorton, what about you? What's the one thing like you wish you would have done, which you haven't done yet?
I have a couple of regrets.
Yeah.
And I made a few. No.
What do you got?
So number one, I wish I would have traveled around the world by myself before I had responsibilities, obligations, and not that I think I didn't rush into my life. I feel like I didn't think about it before I got into it. Because I knew what I always wanted, and I'm so glad the way it turned out. However, I think that there was more that I wanted.
Well, see, it's so funny because me and Gidge talk about you and Shelly all the time. Not always flattering, but no, I'm just kidding. No, but what we talk about is because you guys got together so young and had your kids so young. And now, like Mikey's 26.
26 tomorrow.
26 tomorrow. Maddie's 24 now. 22, whatever. But they're grown and out of the house and gone. But you and Shelly are now at a place where you are young, fit, healthy enough that you can go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Me and Gidge did a lot of whatever we wanted to do before we got married in our mid-30s and had kids. But, by the time my kids are 25 years old, I'll be mid to late, I'll be old. I'll be in my mid to late 60s. Now, granted, with my high level of income and the advances in modern, science, I have to probably live to be 200, 240 years old. So
we talk about that a lot.
Yeah,
too,
we talk about that.
Fun.
No, but it's just different. So but here's I look at it this way. A lot of my younger days, or a lot of time when I was younger, I was not necessarily in the best financial situation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't just go do whatever I wanted to do.
Not at all.
So would it be better to be young and be struggling and hostile? And yeah, you could still get around, and people do it all the time, stay in the $8 a night Thailand hostel and lose a kidney, whatever it is. But
dude, $8 in Thailand,
or be where you're at now. Because literally, is there any place on the planet right now that you couldn't afford to go? No, you can literally go. You can stay in any hotel, 5-star, Dubai, whatever you want around the globe, and it's not going to make a difference in your life. Right. It's not, the cost won't make a difference.
We talk about that a lot, but now it's like, we can absolutely travel, right? Yeah. But it's what my mindset was, my regret was, I wish I would have taken a couple of years.
Yeah, just to yourself. Just
to
yourself.
myself. And kind of
bartending the Caymans or
just anything that came up,
around
right? Like you could be on a beach one day or at a mountaintop the next, right? Or the next month, whatever it be. But ultimately,
then you'd be probably selling, ready-made yurts or something right now.
Here's the question. Here, let's dig deep on this. Do you think you had the brass really when you were 21 to just throw a backpack on and crow across the country? I did not.
I didn't.
I didn't because I was raised by a pillar of a woman, right? That gave me it's not what people are feeding their kids with right now for the participation trophy and everybody's, exceptional in their own right. Yeah. She truly walked that walk and promoted it to me every day. So I could have done anything that I wanted.
Yeah.
Right? In my mind, that was kind of my fulfillment growing up because my mother kind of gave me the reinforcement that I can achieve anything that I wanted to. However, because of the society around me, I not only listened to my mother, but I was acknowledging and witnessing other people that have done it before me that I admired so much. Like my Uncle Mike, when he passed away, my aunt and uncle, who he was like the guy who stepped in as my father, married 66 years. Loved each other like you wouldn't believe, like teenagers at 80 years old. They were like, so these are the people that I wanted to emulate and kind of be like.
Mm-hmm. Right? And I think you guys are doing that. What about you, counselor?
So my whole thing, but
Dude, I don't know.
At 17 though, I did move out to the mountains by myself without any money. Like I had the stones to go do it. I just didn't know you could go do it outside of that small window of what was available in my small town,
right?
Small area. So for me, the older I got, the more I realized how big the world is. It became very important for me to travel it. So I've been to 42 countries, been to 46 states, and it's only because no one's stopping me.
Yeah.
And I do stuff all the time because no one's stopping me. And one day
we need a new adventure.
We need a new adventure. We've gone. John had archaeological digs in Egypt. I got my pilot's license. I've climbed Kilimanjaro. I've run with the bulls. I want to do absolutely everything. And I realized probably too late. I probably didn't have a lot of people doing a bunch of stuff around me. That the world's not that difficult. You can just go do it. No one stops you. It's not as expensive as you think. It's not as time consuming as you think. Think of all the weekends you've sat there and sat at home and watched Netflix or whatever. All that time you could have, gone on a couple. Like it's not not that hard to get to Europe.
It's just a couple hours. That Americans,
vaccination,
Americans probably have the easiest way to travel, right, out of any country.
What
like for us? No, just us to jump into Mexico, to jump across.
Yeah.
Like it's so easy for us,
easy.
and
cheap.
We don't, right? Like
it's
we
cheap.
don't. Like I don't have desire to do that stuff.
Well, people always say this thing too. They go, "I can't go to Europe. I don't have $10,000." I'm like,
you don't need $10,000.
You don't need $10,000. Fly to Italy on a $450 flight.
Yeah.
My buddy and I one time grabbed a rental car and we drove around and hit like 8 or 9 countries. We had lunch in Bratislava. We had went to some ruin bars in Budapest. It was awesome. It was a great trip. Totally inexpensive.
I love the ruin bars.
It was so much fun.
We should all go running with the bulls. You just said it.
Yeah,
you should.
All go.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, no one's stopping you. It doesn't cost any money. It's free.
See, like for me, I'll tell you what mine is, and I'm curing it right now. This is going to sound really stupid compared to this, but the reason I want it to sound stupid to people because there's a lot of things that you probably want to do in your life that ego is stopping you from doing because you don't want to look stupid learning to do them. That's pretty much that is such a massive part of my life is, man, I don't want people looking at me when I do that. I look like an idiot. And I'm just finally got to the point in my life when I'm over it. So, I grew up in Florida, lived there my whole life, grew up water skiing, grew up skating, all that stuff. Never really took the time to invest in learning how to surf. Now I got the house in Newport. I'm literally 400 feet from one of the best breaks in all of Southern California. I looked it up yesterday, man. Surf school. I'm going to get private lessons. I'm learning to surf. That's what I'm doing.
Greatest
and I don't
workout.
care how stupid I look standing on the damn beach. I'm going to do it.
Greatest workout.
Abe and I took surf lessons in Huntington. I've been surfing Hawaii in Huntington. Yeah. We took surf lessons. And we both were absolutely dog shit at him. Terrible. But I was still fun. I'm still thinking like I'm gonna go take some more surf lessons.
Yeah.
But
no.
It's
I'm
fun. It's good. To me, the sharks scare me.
Sharks don't care about you.
There's no sharks.
There's no sharks that you got to worry about.
They don't care
Great
about
whites.
you. In Florida,
there's probably 600 people died in a car in Los Angeles trying to get to the beach, and he's worried about the one shark bite that happened in South Africa.
Did you guys see the guy from Australia get eaten?
God, he's in Australia.
Australia,
why? It
yes.
doesn't matter.
Worry about sharks in the tip of South Africa and then parts of Australia.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And in Florida.
off
Montauk.
You get bit in Florida.
Montauk, yeah.
and California. There you go. Are we just going to name the whole world? Because you'll get bit
No,
everywhere.
but California, that water, it's not. Sharks don't really have an interest in biting people. They're not hunting you.
No.
Just saying. Just saying.
I've seen Jaws too many times.
Be brave.
Oh, boy.
No,
Never waste an opportunity to tell someone that you love them.
I love that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's good.
If you don't, when I was young, I saw a lot of death, crazy death. I saw 2 of my friends get their heads chopped off in a freaking car wreck, stuff like that. Like, if you don't realize that leaving your house is dangerous every day, people,
Sharks?
the sharks, yeah. Nah, but my regret is not saying I love you to people have died. Like, that's the only regret I have.
Yeah.
I just got into a motorcycle accident
Yeah.
not too long ago.
Oh,
And
yeah.
your day
And he
started.
and he fell off a ladder once.
Your day started off
And I fell
beautiful.
off a ladder once. Right? But
You're-
that scared the shit out of me. I won't ride a motorcycle again.
Yeah.
Right?
Smart
And
move.
that, like, literally was almost like when someone told me I had cancer, right? That changed my life.
Oh yeah.
I like this one too. It says when friends or relatives are in the hospital, go see them. You only need to stay for a few minutes.
Yeah. Totally.
Yes.
I see, you don't appreciate that till like my dad was in the hospital. Like I try to get, thank God, knock on wood, I haven't had a lot of friends in the hospital for any kind of extended stay. But I always do try to make it to go see him. But one thing I tell you, I have been lacked at in my life over the years is not making a point to go to funerals. And I think that's something.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, man. So as a younger kid, like I had a couple friends pass away, and something about it, I was like, nah, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to the funeral.
I went to my first funeral when I was 34 years old.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
God.
I'm 41 now. I went to my first funeral 37 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
And a lot of people died and stuff, but they didn't have funerals.
no, but the point is, I mean, dude, I want people fighting over the microphone at my funeral. So it's like anything else. You give what you give. And I think, even if you just, one of the things we did, like our friend Scott, his grandmother died. And I think he was so touched by all of us going down there. He was so touched just to be there to support him. Even if you're not that connected to people, you try to, if it's somebody that's important to you and somebody that's important to them died, try to show up for them.
Do you know what? Have you seen that movie, The Big Kahuna, with Danny DeVito?
I think
Kevin
you've
Spacey?
mentioned this before, but we've never.
About the whole thing about if you talk to somebody, if you really want to get to know somebody, you really want someone to understand that you're there for them and not yourself. It's kind of like visiting someone at the hospital, ask about their kids.
Ask my other kids.
So because if you go to visit somebody at the hospital, you're doing something. It's an act of service for somebody else for their benefit. You get nothing from it.
Right.
It's a time when someone's down. It's not like there's some popularity contest. Oh, I went to my friend's hospital room today.
but-
That's truly like an act of like love or service. I think visiting someone in the hospital, it definitely
Chicken
shows that
wings.
they're valuable enough to you for whatever reason to go. I like that one.
The chicken wings and the grilled cheese at hospitals. Phenomenal.
I'll say this. St. Rose up the road is like Sizzler with doctors. It really
It really is.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Are you guys?
St. Rose comes pretty strong.
You guys want to meet up at the hospital tomorrow for chicken wings?
No, every time we had a baby, I was more excited about the Sizzler than I was about the baby. It was just that
Yeah,
good.
I'm
Yeah,
with
it's
you.
that good.
Really?
It
Oh,
was.
yeah.
It used to be. I don't know if it's still that good, but it was
Still
that
is.
good. I'm going to run through these just because
go
we're
every other
running
week.
short on time. Take charge of your attitude. Don't let someone else choose it for you. I agree with that. If you wake up in the morning and say I'm in a bad mood, that's a choice you're making.
Yep.
Not that. Begin each day with some of your favorite music. Love that.
Yeah.
Helps put you in a positive state.
Try Back in Black by AC/DC.
Oh, I play a different song every day, and usually my go-to is Judas Priest, "Breaking the Law."
Is it breaking the law as you wake up?
Yep.
Setting the standard.
Yeah.
My wake up song when Alexa wakes us up every day is "Lovely Day" by Bill Withers.
That's nice.
Really?
We wake up to Bill Withers every morning.
I go to Rob Halford.
It's hard to be right to Rob Halford.
Rob Halford.
Yeah.
Wah-nah.
Like I said, that's how I wake the kids up. When the kids are sleeping late, I'm always like, Alexa, play Swedish death metal in Hayden's room, volume 10. That's my standard wake. That's my standard wake up call in the mornings.
When I was growing up and in high school, you had the audio. I mean, you didn't have Alexa or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was a clock radio. And 6 o'clock a.m. every morning on Z100 in New York, they would play Money by Pink Floyd. So it was
Really?
the first note as soon as it was doom, 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 doom. So I would wake up to that every single
day.
day of high school.
Every day.
Not bad.
No.
Show respect for someone who works for a living regardless of how trivial their job. I cannot agree with this more. You can tell more about a person by how they treat other people in working in service situations than anything else.
How did we not talk about we were Julia Roberts freaking Friday night at the bar?
We did. We did.
Man.
You saw Julia Roberts?
No, we got treated like
we
pretty
got pretty
women.
woman.
We are pretty
Really?
women.
We asked to leave?
We were
Pretty much.
we were we won't talk about the play 8 at Resorts World. Dead to me. We went to the cigar bar at 8, right? And they got there before I did, and they sit down, and the lady says, "Hey, just so you know, this table is reserved at 9:30."
I think it was 10 o'clock.
Whatever it was, 9:30.
5:45.
She's like 9:30. So at 9:30, and it's like 5:30.
I can go home and take a nap and come back, and they're still not going to fucking
They're
leave me
like,
before I
bro,
leave."
if we're still here,
I can play a game of cricket between us.
if we're still here, something's incredibly wrong. And we're sitting there, and it's like
Half hour later.
She comes over, and I just ordered another drink.
We
she
dropped
comes over.
now at least $180 at this point.
Yeah, in
a half
30
hour.
minutes
In a half
we spent
hour.
$200, right? And I just ordered another drink, and the hostess comes over. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, the party that's gonna be here later, they got here early, so you guys have to move. There are empty tables in every direction. Do you look at us?
Everywhere.
Every table.
And do you know where she tries to put us?
Yeah, at the bar.
No. She tried to put us outside.
Oh, outside, she tried to move us.
It was 40
Freezing.
mile an
It was
hour
freezing.
winds.
It
It
was freezing.
was 50 degrees. She goes, "You can go outside." We're like, "Look at all these things." And we're like, "Can we at least go to the bar?" She goes, "I guess."
Yeah.
They showed up 3.5 hours, and then some guy sits there for 45 minutes by himself.
So we go to the bar, and I set my drink back. I'm like, we'll go somewhere else. I don't want it. And then they put it on the bill.
Yeah.
And it was bad form. It was all the way around bad form.
If
I'm
you
like,
have reservations at 9:30 and you show up at 6, are you expecting your table?
No, but
No.
you need to be better at managing your. That place is fucked for a million reasons.
Yeah.
And I don't even want it to do well. I just hope it tanks because
Yeah.
it's got that air about it where it's like, look how special we are. We offer literally nothing.
yeah, you're not that
important or
special.
interesting.
You're not that
Like,
special.
I don't know what makes you think that customer service shouldn't be paramount, but either way, when you work with nightclub people or whatever, you go to industry people and they talk down to you.
I hate that.
Oh, God.
No bar that does that has ever survived.
No, it hasn't. And this place is, there you go. It's on the crosshairs because I'll never spend another nickel in there. Never, ever again.
Oh, probably
No, thanks.
all of Resorts World.
Well, what's funny is let's look at the next one. Remember that 80% of success in any job is based on your ability to deal with people. Shockingly apropos from the 80-year-old man. And the last one we'll read from him, we'll settle up with this one, is don't expect life to be fair. Fair is in my house.
Truth.
And my word, I don't know if you guys know this, fair is actually a bad word in my house. Like if my kids say fair, it's like they're in trouble.
Like
Because I'm always like, fair is where you buy cotton candy and hot dogs.
Clint
That's it.
Eastwood and Unforgiven, it deserves got nothing to do
That
with it.
deserves got nothing to do with it. Exactly right. It's like there's only what a man can do and what a man will do. That's it. There's no fair. And we do that. So, Colt, what is give the people the best piece of advice you can give them as they're listening? Both of them that are still here.
I mean, be careful about eating the Fair's hot dogs. Those will not settle in your stomach well. Is that what?
Eat
is
the
that
fair
what?
hot dog?
No, eat the cotton candy. The hot dogs will make you sick.
Okay.
No, I think the most important thing is there has been studies after studies after studies of going and talking to 80, 90-year-old people, and their only regrets not doing something. It's not what they did, it's what they did not do. So that being said,
Say yes. Take action.
say yes.
Yeah.
Counselor, what do you got?
Order the guacamole.
Order the guacamole.
Who's got the best guac in town? Probably El Dorado.
El Dorado.
I give it to him.
El Dorado downtown
At the
Henderson?
strip club?
No, at the strip club.
Oh,
El Dorado Cantina. It's good.
Oh, at
guac is
Southwest.
good.
Yeah.
Guac is good.
gotcha.
It's good.
should go
Guac.
have
It is
some.
good. It is good. Counselor, what do you got?
You already said it, guacamole.
Oh, you said the guacamole.
I'm just saying, like, don't. So what do they say? Money and time. Don't
yeah,
save
don't
it.
chintz. Order the
Don't
extra
save it.
guacamole.
Live
Yeah,
it,
good,
live it,
yeah.
love it. Spend it.
Order the guacamole.
You're gonna die one day. You really are gonna die one day.
Yeah,
Think about
memento
how
mori.
lucky you are to exist in this point in time. In terms of, we have modern dentistry, so it doesn't hurt that much to fix your teeth. We have surgery where you can be in and out and not even realize laparoscopically. Like every other point in human history prior to today was harder.
Yeah.
Okay. Every other point in human history, right? And just appreciate it. Just understand that you're blessed with
Do you think it's harder? Do you think? I think 1986 was probably pretty solid for me. I think life was.
I think if you had to go back
life was
to
easier in '86 for me now.
If you had to go back to 1986, you may want to blow your brains out.
Dude, I was at the skating rink keeping it real in '86. That was a solid run.
Do I get 1986 energy? Then yeah, actually.
There you go. Yeah.
Sweet. Gas was a lot
Shoot
cheaper.
that right at the problem. Gorton, what do you got? Final bit of advice for folks.
There's so much, but at the end of the day, find yourself the right woman.
Yeah.
Amen to
that.
Unless you're
that makes the most sense.
Unless you're a lady who's into men.
You know, find your equal in the opposite gender.
Which is International Women's Day, so I had to,
I couldn't agree with that. My best piece of advice, I guess, as I would say as you go out there, is if you have kids, remember they're watching everything you do. And if you want your kids to turn out to be great people, you need to focus on being a great person yourself. And we'll go with that. Well, hope you guys enjoyed today's little tidbit on advice. We'll be back next week with more Power Move. Remember, if you hated what we talked about today, if you absolutely couldn't stand it, tell 2 people. But if you liked it, tell 4. Because it doesn't matter if you're talking good or bad. As long as they're talking about you, we'll see you next week.
Rice cakes next week. Taste testing.
Hey, it's John Gafford. If you want to catch up more and see what we're doing, you can always go to thejohngafford.com, where we'll share any links things we talked about on the show, as well as links to the YouTube where you can watch us live. And if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, you can always follow me at thejohngafford. I'm here. Give me a shout.